By now I'd begun to get my bearings, and when I realized where we were, I had to clench my fists and grit my teeth to stop myself shouting at him. We'd made a long detour round Jamaica and come out in Corona. "Oh, bugger!" I said loudly. Alphonse turned round, still smiling. "What?" "Here's the problem, Alphonse," I told him. "Instead of dropping me in bleating Jamaica half an hour ago, you've brought me up to Corona where my brother lives and where I'm going to stay. But I was supposed to collect the keys in Jamaica Avenue, and even if I get out of the cab, I still can't get in without going back down to Jamaica. See what I mean?" He grinned and shrugged, amiable to the last. I looked at him moodily. I could try directing him over to Flushing Main Street and down into Jamaica, but I didn't trust either of us to get it right. On the other hand, my brother's upstairs neighbour, Melded, was a nurse who worked odd hours, and she could well be at home. She'd let me in, or at least allow me to leave my bag in her flat. "Stop," I said. "Let me out. Stop." He pulled over to the curb. I got out and paid him. He gave me his card with a flourish. "You go, huh? I come." I nodded and he grinned at me, settled his peaked hat more firmly on his head, and pulled away into the traffic. I looked around. It was one of those bright, sunny spring days, the air heavy with hope and moisture. The last time I'd seen this street, thick snowflakes were pelting down, but the difference in the weather hadn't changed much about the scene in front of me. It still looked like any other main street, in a poor to middling district in the outer boroughs. Liquor store, bars, diners, and bodegas. But nowadays, I thought, the place was more of a mixture than it used to be. Back in the days when Louis Armstrong lived here, and Harlem was the showbiz and crime capital of the black world, Corona had been a staging post in the migration of the black middle classes into Queens. Now the Caribbean immigrants, Haitians, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, were following along the same escape route, and wherever you saw a soul food diner, you could find 2 or 3 bodegas nearby, offering comidas criollas. I was standing opposite the Muslim school, which meant that the flat would be off the next block. I picked up my bag and started across the road, but the sound of screeching brakes and the grinding crash of metal on metal stopped me as I was about to step off the pavement. On the other side of the road, a beat-up Honda driven by an Indian had pulled out immediately in front of a Chinese man driving a new Ford. The Chinese had swerved, but all he'd got for his efforts was a long scar on the side of the Ford, and now he was spectacularly angry. He threw open the door of his car and climbed out, a stick in his hand, his long hair flying, shouting a stream of abuse at the other driver. The echo of the crash had barely died away, but a line of spectators, mostly black, had already gathered, and beside me there was a chorus of scattered cheers. "Kick ass!" one voice suggested. "Asian champion, round 1!" screeched another. But the Indian driver wasn't playing. As the Chinese approached, the Honda began moving, and in a moment it was leaving the scene, weaving fast into the traffic. The Chinese ran alongside, passionately whacking the battered paintwork and screaming at the top of his voice. At the same time, a young black man pushed past me and walked casually across the road. He was carrying a plastic shopping bag, and he had the light-skinned, frizzy-haired look of a Dominican. But his manner was so relaxed and self-assured that when he threw the shopping bag into the back of the Ford, got in, and slammed the door shut, it took me a few seconds to register what was happening. The signal lights flashed and the car took off, moving smoothly past the Chinese man, who had abandoned his pursuit, and was walking back, muttering angrily to himself. In a moment, though, the frenzied chorus of yells from the curbside alerted him. "Your car's gone! Go get your car!" He did a quick double-take and realized that his car was receding into the distance. Silence.